Ta-da! So here's the finished article. Not really looking much like a folly, but it's a cake anyway. Much of it is extremely rough and I had to drop almost all of the original ideas, but I am rather proud of of course it's wrought iron, the wrought iron railings. I had to get some special glue. I could have used royal icing, but I had got some special glue to glue them together. So the idea is that it's a two-story folly with a belvedere. You can imagine whether you think that's glass or copper sheeting, go dramatically green over time. I'm really not going to do any close-ups of it. It's a mess. This is pretty much my first go at piping. And it doesn't really want to stick to the cake. However, to do the wrought iron, I literally drew them out on greaseproof paper, putting a drawing underneath, which I got offline. Online even. Gosh, it's late. I thought of those as well. Panels that go together with a different thing. I was surprised how well that one worked. I had them laid out here last night on this piece of greaseproof paper, much like these, which I did freehand in desperation. And I was convinced that they were going to break when I picked them up, so I left it. Well, they had to go on last anyway. So I've been faffing around with the cake, getting it flat. As you can see, I've chopped some of the rounded crust off it here, which gives a nice two-tone effect, and then I glazed it. Because the whole thing was risen. I put a lot of I put baking powder in as well as self-raising flours. The cake itself is a Persian recipe which has rather a lot of rose water and lemon juice in it, and cardamom and vanilla. So it is a very nice recipe. I've used it before, and it's a fairly substantial sponge, which I like, especially if you're going to stick things on it and in it. This is a laugh, because this is the reason I started the whole thing. Not only that's royal icing, which I was told if you make it thick, you can use it in moulds, but clearly you can't. Or I can't. Anyway, it didn't work for me. But that door, if you remember, is hilarious because the cake turned out, look, the cake turned out about 1 inch high before it started to curve upwards. So that door, even if it had worked, would have been way too tall anyway. Pillars, again, completely out of proportion. So not necessary. Nice though they are. It would look a bit like the White House with those, and I don't much fancy that. It's not a Capitol Hill cake. That'd be a bit wrong. I don't think there's really much else to say. Except I lashed up the first cake completely. I've never had to put a cake in the bin before, but I did for the first time today. I was listening to something that was very distracting while I was cooking. I was in a bit of a hurry this afternoon. I don't know what I did. I think I was doubling the ingredients, and I probably doubled some things and not others. And then I think I forgot one of the flours. There's different types of flour in it. I think I forgot one of them. So that didn't go well. I had to scrape it out and put it in the bin, clean everything up, and do another one tonight. Okay, I will show you this, even though I'm very ashamed of it. I was actually getting okay at the piping. As you can see, look, that's my piping. I do have some control of it, even though that's just with a bag made out of greaseproof paper. Having cut the crust off the cake to make the dome, that is very crummy there, and I was kind of packing it down with my hands and filling holes and things, but it meant that the icing, it wouldn't stick and drag, which you need obviously to make nice lines. It was lifting the loose crumbs, so I was trying to catch it with a knife and all sorts of things. That's really the best I could do, particularly being a bit short of time and being keen to get onto my fencing. But look at my fencing. That is nice, isn't it? Anyway, my efforts are always appreciated. It's unusual, I'll say that for it. But if it's a folly, don't ask me how you get in. Because there's no door. In fact, there's not even any windows. So it's for magic people who can just, tiny little people who can fly up or fly down from the sky and walk around inside their tiny little balcony in there and enjoy the candles and go up inside by magic because there's no entrances or exit. All right, happy birthday.